So I have, quite honestly, an absurd amount of unread books. I'm ashamed that I haven't gotten to this point, but I will be honest and say that I have way too many unread books. So this shelf behind me, these 3 shelves of books are unread, and that is way too many. I never wanted to get to this point. I don't know how I got to this point. I'm not comfortable having so many unread books, and I really want to have just a few. I would ideally love to have just one shelf, even just like half of a shelf or less, but I think one shelf is a good starting point. So that brings me to this video and the series that I'm about to start. I'm going to be doing a read it or unhaul it series of videos, which I've seen growing in popularity on YouTube recently, so I am just one of many jumping on this bandwagon. It's going to be a read it or unhaul it, but with a little bit of a twist. So most people have their jar or container with the names of every unread book that they have, and a lot of the times they're color-coded to relate to the genre of the book that they are. For me, I'm doing it a little bit differently. Instead of the names, I'm going to be doing prompts. I think it would be more fun for me to do prompts instead of outright a certain book. I've written a couple of my prompts so far. I still need to write a few more, and obviously I still need to cut these out and put them in my container, but I have a couple of prompts written out and I'm going to write more similar to these. So I have things like a genre that I don't usually read, 200 to 300 pages, and things like that. I'm planning to do some like an author that's new to me, an author I've read before, a genre that I usually read, things like that. Kind of prompts so that I can read the prompt and choose the book that fits into that I most want to read. So that I'm getting some guidance as to what kind of book to pick, which book to pick, so I'm not just staring at all of these and a little overwhelmed by choice, but so that I still have a little bit of choice in the matter. I'm really excited to get into this. I just have to write a few more of these prompts and then cut them up and add them to my basket, and then I will be back to pick a prompt and grab a book and start reading. Okay, I am back. I have cut and folded up all of my prompts, so now I have a nice little collection ready to go. So I am going to pick, I'm planning to do 2 picks per video, so I think I'm going to do both picks just right now, just to get that out of the way, and then read what I pick. So, okay, a book that matches the season. I don't know if I have any, actually. You know, when I wrote this, I was picturing like fall or winter. I don't know, I'm just gonna put that one back for now because I don't feel like it's a good one for summer. I definitely had different seasons in mind when I wrote that one. Genre that I don't usually read. So I mainly read fantasy. This entire top shelf and this shelf all the way up to here is all fantasy. So there's just those books are not fantasy, and then almost 2 entire shelves are fantasy. That's my main genre. So there are quite a few others that I can pick from. I have sci-fi, I have historical fiction. I think for this one, I'm going to pick Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. This is a young adult mystery thriller, I think, and that is definitely not my wheelhouse of genres. The first other mystery thriller that I read was A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which I read 2 or 3 months ago, so I don't usually read these, so I think that'll be my pick. My first pick of the video, this one is a book with flowers on the cover. The Bone Season has flowers. The Starling House. Okay, so these are my options. I think I'm gonna go with The Starling House. Ooh, I actually could also do A River Enchanted. I read the blurb hoping that it would help a little bit. Now I'm really interested in reading both of these. This one I've heard good things about and it just sounds like an interesting story. And this one also sounds interesting. I've also heard good things about this, and I really liked Divine Rivals by the same author, Rebecca Ross. Maybe I'll choose whichever one is shorter. 464 pages. Starling House is 304. I think I'll pick the Starling House. And I have my two picks for this video. Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson and The Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. I don't know which one I'm going to read first, actually. The book that I'm going to read first is Starling House by Alex E. Harrow. I'm just going to jump right into this, and I will let you know what my thoughts are along the way. Hello, so it is the next day. I have read about 68 pages of Starling House. I'm really liking it. This is the kind of book that I don't want to put down. Every time that I pick it up and start reading it, I don't want to stop. Last night I was reading before bed to wind down, but I really didn't want to stop reading. I'm really liking it. It's really atmospheric. I can see and feel the world that this takes place in. Even though I don't really know the characters yet or what's happening, I really like the atmosphere, and I'm really intrigued to find out more. Everything so far has been really good and I'm really liking it, so I'm excited to keep reading this, and I will update when I get a little further in. It is the next day again. I am still reading Starling House. I am on page 228, so I'm nearing the end on this. I have like 70 pages left and it's really good. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm still finding myself not wanting to put this down. I just want to reach for it and keep reading. Even while I'm supposed to be working on other things, I find myself just wanting to keep reading and to keep picking it up, which is a problem, but I am noticing that the ending, we're kind of getting up to the resolution, like nearly there, and this kind of ending area is kind of drooping a little bit. It's almost a different tone than a lot of the rest of the book was. I don't know, some of it is a lot more lighthearted than some of the other parts were, just with character interactions between the main character and some of the side characters, but I don't mind it too much. I'm still really enjoying the book. I think I'm gonna finish this probably tomorrow, maybe tonight or tomorrow morning. So probably by the next time that I update, I will be done with this. So I am going to jump into Truly Devious as soon as I finish Starling House, because I am excited to finish this and excited to jump into my next book. I kind of was in a reading slump before this video started, and I can feel myself getting lifted out of the reading slump by this book. It's definitely helping a lot. So I'm excited to keep reading, and yeah, I'm just gonna go get into that and hopefully finish this book. So I just finished reading Starling House. It was good. I liked it. I think I'd give it 4 stars. It was good. I enjoyed it a lot. There was a couple parts that were a little bit like not exactly what I wanted from this book, so that did make it a little less appealing to me, but otherwise I really liked this book. I really liked the atmosphere in this. I liked the magic and the way that the house is almost alive and it's almost a character itself. Yeah, I enjoyed this a lot, and I didn't want to stop reading. Every time that I picked it up, I just wanted to not put it down until I was done. And so I finished it. I left a couple of, oh, you can't really see it. I left a couple of tabs on the pages and highlighted a few passages that I liked. I didn't really do a whole lot of annotating. I think there's just one part where I left a note, but I did highlight a bit and leave some little tabs on parts that I liked. I would give that a 4 stars. I'm really happy to be adding this to my stack of fantasy books. These are books that will be going on the shelf that I'll have here once I get that shelf. So these are all fantasy books that I've read. So I'm really happy to finally be putting a book on my read stack after having so many on this unread shelf. It helps to bring me out of my reading slump. Like I want to just keep reading and I want to get to something new. So I'm gonna get to my next book, Truly Devious. I've actually read a couple of pages of it already. I read the prologue, I think it was. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just jump right into reading that, and I will let you know my thoughts along the way. I'm back. I've read another chapter of Truly Devious, so I read the prologue in chapter 1, and now I am right at the first page of chapter 2. I'm not too sure about this one. I'm going to keep reading because I wanted to see how it's gonna progress, and I want to actually get into the meat of the story, but the one thing that I'm noticing and that I wanted to film a clip to update on is that the main character is really pretentious and annoying so far, so that makes me slightly nervous. But I am gonna at least push through until we get to the main plot of this and I figure out what's happening. I'm barely into this so far, so I'm going to keep reading. Just I did want to come in and say that the one thought that I have so far is that the main character is really getting on my nerves, and it's chapter 1. But yeah, that's where I'm at, and I'm just gonna go keep reading. Hello again. I'm on page 100 now, which is a bit further in. It's right up to the beginning of chapter 7. I don't know about this book. It's the main character has been a little bit less pretentious and just kind of flat and boring. She's kind of a not like other girls kind of character, which, what can you expect from a YA book, I guess? I don't know, I'm not really hooked on this yet. I have read 100 pages, but I don't know, it's 100 pages in and I don't really know what the plot of this is yet. It's just been school tour. This takes place at a fancy academy for special high schoolers, I guess. So far, the 100 pages has been, oh, let's go on a tour of the school. Let's go on more of a tour of the school. Let's go on more of a tour of the school. Oh, here's these weird other pretentious kids at the school, and now they're about to go to a party. I don't know, I'm not really feeling it, which is disappointing because I've heard good things about this and I was excited, but maybe I just need to push a little further. But also, I'm a quarter of the way into this already and there's no sign of a plot. There's flashback scenes to what the central mystery is, but most of the mystery is just that you don't have all of the details yet. The author hasn't told us the entire case yet. A quarter of the way in and there's no plot yet. I think I'm gonna read more, but I also, there's so many books that I have that I want to read and I don't know if I want to spend my time on this, but I'm going to push through at least to either page 150 or page 200. It is a fast read and the text is pretty big. I don't know how I'm feeling about this, but I'm gonna keep pushing through. We'll see. Okay, so I didn't update for a little while, and I should have because I have finished Truly Devious. And last that you saw me, I was on page 100, I believe. And this is a 400-page book. I should have updated, but I didn't have the chance, so I'm just updating now. This gets 2 stars, which I'm really disappointed about. I had heard that this was not the best book in the world, but just a fun read and a good mystery, especially for people who are just getting into reading mysteries, and it was not. I did not enjoy this. My biggest gripe is that this could have been about 20,000 words shorter and it still would have been too long. I just think that this dragged on and it didn't have very much of a plot, and you didn't get into the plot until 180 pages in. This is how far I was in when I finally got to the semblance of a plot. And I feel like, especially with a mystery, you really need to introduce your plot sooner than halfway through the novel. And then the last half of the book was really slow, not much happened, and it ended on a really unsatisfying cliffhanger. So I did not enjoy this. It wasn't a good time, but I wanted to just read it and finish it, especially because I felt like I was too far in by the time that I started getting into the plot, and by that point I felt like I might as well just keep reading and find out what happens. But I didn't get to find out what happens because it just barely starts introducing the mystery of any of this by the time that the book is over. The more that I think about this book, the more irritated that I get. I'm upset about this. I was really looking forward to it and it disappointed me a lot. Luckily, still out of my reading slump, I am really itching to read more, so I am going to be picking another one. I was planning on just picking 2 books for this video, but since I read my 2 picks so quickly, and since I'm still really itching to read, I'm going to squeeze in a 3rd one. I might not finish it in this video, but if I run out of time, then I'll just finish it in my next installment of this series. So yeah, I'm just gonna pick something and start something and hopefully end on a higher note than my last pick. That is, I think, upside down. A book I don't remember anything about. That could be a lot of them. Ooh, okay, this one is kind of fun because I can pick ones that I'm interested in and that I'm excited to read, but also that I just don't remember why I'm excited to read it. That's probably not good that I have a couple of books that are like that, but okay, one that I could do is The Bear and the Nightingale. I know that this is fantasy, but I have not really any idea what this is about. Immortal Longings I got because I enjoyed These Violent Delights by the same author. I'm excited for this because I liked the author's other work, but I also just don't know what this is about. This is my problem with book buying, is that sometimes I buy things because I know the author or because I've heard other booktubers talk about the book, but I don't really know myself what it's about. I probably need to stop that habit and start picking things that I'm actually interested in the content of. But A River Enchanted, this one, I really liked Divine Rivals. I think I've talked about this book in this video already. I really liked Divine Rivals, and I know that this is fantasy, but pretty much nothing else about this, so I think these are some good picks. The problem is going to be choosing which one of these I'm going to be reading. Since I'm picking these based on not knowing what they're about, maybe I should read the backs of them, read the blurbs, and see which one catches my interest the most, and that will be the one that I pick. I'm gonna put The Bear and the Nightingale back for now. I do want to read this, but it's not gonna be my pick today. I think I might pick Immortal Longings. Again, I do really want to get to A River Enchanted, but it's not gonna be my pick for today. I'm gonna go with Immortal Longings. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and get into this one. Okay, so I have read the first chapter, about 10 pages of Immortal Longings, and I'm enjoying it so far. It's getting my interest. I'm liking the magic system and everything. There's like a thing where people can kind of jump from their body to like other people's bodies and like put their consciousness in someone else's body, and it's kind of cool. So I'm enjoying it. But the one thing is that it kind of reminds me of my own novel that I'm working on. Just something about it for some reason reminds me of my novel Project Mutiny. So I just opened my laptop to write a little bit of that because this is like inspiring me to work on Project Mutiny. I don't know what about this specifically reminds me of that or inspires me for that, but it does. So I'm going to take the inspiration while I have it and just write a little bit, and then I'll be back to reading this later. So yeah, I just wanted to hop in with that update. I'm enjoying it so far, and it's motivating for my own writing. Hello again, I am stopping in for one last update because as much as I tried, I did not finish my last book for this video. I got so close to finishing this. I'm 70% of the way through, and I was really hoping that I'd be able to finish it in time. But I do have to get this video up, so I didn't have the time to finish it entirely, but just kidding, I just finished reading Immortal Longings. It's really late, and I got distracted from editing this video with reading, so yeah, I did finish Immortal Longings before the end of this video. I really enjoyed it. I think I'm giving this 4 stars. It wasn't a perfect book, but I really liked it, and the cliffhanger at the end really got me. as soon as I'm done recording, I'm gonna look up when the next book comes out, because yeah, 4 stars, I enjoyed it. Yay. I do plan to do more of these videos. This was super fun. I really enjoyed it. It helped me to read way more than I've been doing lately. I finished 3 books during the course of me filming this, and almost a 4th one. The 3rd one I finished off camera. That was just a book that I'd been reading on my own time, but I finished nearly 4 books in a little more than a week that I was filming this video, which I am very proud of. That's a lot more than I normally read in that amount of time. So I definitely am going to be doing more of this challenge. I'm going to be doing lots and lots more installments of this video. I will be doing another installment of this video next month at the end of September. I plan to do them every month going forward, so there will be a lot more books in the future ones. If you enjoyed this video, I hope that you will stick around and stay tuned for the next one at the end of September. If you're interested in any of my other videos, I occasionally make reading videos. This is kind of out of the blue for me. Normally I make videos about writing. I'm a fantasy author, hoping to be traditionally published in the semi-near future. So if you're interested in writing content, I make writing vlogs, writing challenges. If you're interested in any of my content, I have lots of older videos and I have lots of plans for the future. So I hope that you check those out. But either way, whether you're interested or not, whether you stick around or not, I hope that you have a very great day.